Hey there, welcome back. Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Smart Kochar, aka Sam, and we're back to another video talking about decentralization. I hope you enjoyed the last video, which was my first video explaining the concept of decentralization. But now we're going to talk about applying the concept of decentralization to your life. I believe it's really important to decentralize your life in the various key aspects of living, because as we have seen over the past year, especially because of COVID-19, that it's extremely important to not rely on one source for the basic aspects of your living. And I covered those, and I actually have them on the board right here. You gotta take care of your income, your food, your exercise and healthcare, your transportation, your knowledge, and your social circles. Decentralization basically means you're taking what you have as a collective right now and exploding it up into a billion different pieces, but still working with that network of people, companies, and sources. So number one, income. I put income first because that's the first thing that came to mind when I was thinking about decentralization, primarily because that's the one thing that can really help you live a better life, We tend to get so zoned in on this one thing about thinking that, oh, if I have a job that pays me this much, I'm good. If I have a job that pays me this much money, I'm good. But at the end of the day, there's no security. We all think that, okay, a job is secure, but jobs are not secure, as we've seen because of the massive amount of layoffs that have been happening, not only in retail, but even in like the tech sector and the travel industry. People from the travel industry have had to pivot their careers like that to meet the growing demands of, different industries. And who would have thought, travel, one of the most uh, enjoyed professions in the entire world, would face such a massive downturn. So when I say income, I mean we need to have multiple sources of income. Yes, you can have a job. There's nothing wrong with that, but you need to have another source of income. This is not an optional, but it has to be something that you act upon immediately, whether it's through a store online, whether it's through making a YouTube channel where you share important content that people love and they pay you for it, whether it is providing consultation services, whether it's doing sales work on the side, whether it's insurance or mortgages or real estate, whatever you enjoy doing, do that. And the best thing about COVID is that a lot of people have been locked in their homes. So now they're thinking outside the box. They're actually thinking, okay, I'm making this much money. I have a bit more time. I can do a bit more of this, fun artwork, which I enjoy doing. And maybe I can put it up on Etsy and people will actually buy it. Hey, one sold, two sold, three sold, 10 sold, 100 sold. That's a pretty good source of income. Uh, and of course, keeping with that theme, you can always invest. You can invest in sources where you actually make income, whether it's, investing in a REIT, real estate investment trust, or whether it's investing in a rental property where you get monthly income coming in from the people, because a house is a must for everyone. uh, that kind of stuff can really help you feel a lot more secure, because I used to honestly believe that having a job was the greatest thing ever, because now I could pay my bills, I could live a comfortable life, and that was it. I would just enjoy what was left over. But you can't do that anymore. You just can't, because jobs are uncertain. There's always a risk of someone taking your job. People keep preaching about automation coming in down the line. And think about it, if it does happen, there's going to be a lot more people getting let go, because people right now think, okay, my job is secure because, I don't know, because I'm indispensable. But at the end of the day, no one is indispensable. You can just be let go like that. The, the government can decide next day, hey, we're going to close down all the businesses because it's a health pandemic. Is the business ready for that? Are you ready for that? You know, at the end, the business person has to take care of their sources of income, their money, their business, because they're the ones putting their ass on the line for you. And they're the ones creating the opportunity for you, but it's not up to you to get so cushy in that you don't take care of yourself. It's very important to take care of yourself and take care of your income and make sure that you have multiple sources of income. Point number one. Point number two, food, healthcare, exercise. A lot of people back in March of last year had a rude awakening when their gyms shut down. They had daily routines, waking up early in the morning, driving to the gym, getting their workout done, and then going to work. And they've been doing it for years. But the gym shut down. Oh my gosh. What do we do now? There were people who had jobs at gyms. They were let go. Gyms shut down? Are you kidding me? What now? Do I like not exercise? Or do I exercise? Where do I exercise? What if it's cold outside? So those are the kind of question that you got to ask yourself is, okay, great, I have a gym. It's a luxury. It's a luxury to have access to a gym where you can go regularly. But you need to prepare. You need to prepare. Okay, what if there was no gym? What would I do? Would I go for a run? Perfectly viable workout. Would I lift weights at home? Perfectly viable workout. Do I build a mini gym at home? Totally viable. Do I, go to the community pool? Perfectly possible. Not in the case of a pandemic where you have this infectious disease going around and you don't want people in the pools, right? Fair enough. But swimming, if that's your main thing, gotta plan accordingly. Do you want to build a pool in your backyard? That's perfectly fine. Uh, the food. The food is very, very important. Where do you get your food from? And I'm personally not a huge fan of large department stores where you go and buy food along with your other things like a microwave or a fridge or all these accessories for the kitchen. I'd rather prefer like smaller mom and pop grocery stores where you can go and buy fruits and vegetables, because yeah, there's just a special feeling of knowing that person one to one. But here's the thing: when COVID-19 happened, a lot of smaller businesses closed down, and my expectation was that there would be a lot more mom and pop shops open, but even they shut down. And the only places left open were these large grocery chains over here in Canada, which are like No Frills and Food Basics and Walmart and Costco and like Loblaws, which is great for the people because now everyone can go there and buy stuff. But think about it, without having a very dispersed network of where you get your groceries from, everyone's going to the same places again and again. And you know what happens? Lineups, shortages, uh, problems when you have the same source giving you food. So let's say, you're buying fish from somewhere in Asia and it's infected with a virus or some worm or disease, right? It ships over and it arrives at the port, it goes to your grocery, and it goes to everyone's houses. A week later, everyone hears the news. Oh, there's been a salmonella breakout in this fish, or there's been a disease discovered in this fish. Holy shit. Now, on the other hand, what if there was multiple different sources of fish that were shipping to your country, sure, and then within your country, they dispersed to 100 different grocery stores in your area, right? That way, the people in your area did not all go to one store to buy the groceries or the fish, and they went to, I don't know, 80 of these different groceries to pick up different things. So like one had potatoes, one didn't have potatoes, one had the fish, one didn't have the fish. So you just go to these different locations and you grab your groceries and you go home and you eat it and you're fine. Okay, cool. But now the impact of that of that decentralized source of food, also fish in this case, is far less, because you don't have everyone being infected with the virus because you source from different places. One place didn't have the virus, one place did have the virus. Groceries, one place did have the infected fish, one place didn't have the infected fish. So there's a bit of randomness involved, but overall, the risk is far, far lower. Alongside that, think about it this way. What if your neighborhood grocery chain shut down, right? What if you're not in a central location like a city where there's a lot of amenities included? And that's, once again, a huge reason why people do go and live in a city, is because they have access to all these amenities: groceries, food, drinks, activities. Whereas in the case of groceries, you would be left to look for your own food, whether you grow it on your own, whether you uh, order it in from far away, or whether a truck drives over from a far city bringing you guys the groceries from there to here, like where you are right now. That's another possibility, right? But now you're still reliant on them. You need to find a source where you can get your food independent of each other. That's the thing, right? When I think of independence, or the whole idea of decentralization, means you need independence. Independence from what? You need independence from centralization. And what that means is you need to have different sources. Like, okay, I normally go here for my groceries, but if not here, I'll go here. Or if I don't get this over here, I'll go here. So as an example, we use two different groceries. One is an Indian grocery and one is a normal grocery. We go to one, hey, if it's not there, or if it's expensive, or if it's, rotten fruits and vegetables, which is frequently the case with like the normal grocery, we go to the Indian one. I know, and they actually have a lot better groceries that have been imported from India, or sometimes sourced locally as well. Yeah, so that's food and exercise. Up next, we have transport. Having a car is a blessing. It's a blessing because now you get the freedom to go anywhere you want. But you gotta still prepare. What if the highways are jam-packed? What if the trains are not running? What if the buses are not running? Or the other way, what if the roads are closed? What if they're not letting anyone go in cars anywhere? Do you have a bike? Do you have a scooter? Do you have rollerblades? Are you able to walk a decent distance? Are you able to navigate around, the transit terminals? Are you able to navigate from point A to point B in your region quickly? Are you able to look up that information, or are you able to, not get lost? So for me, it'd be like, am I able to get from here to, I don't know, the east end of Toronto, which is like maybe Scarborough? Yeah. Am I able to get from here to there without any issues? Without a car, without a map, without any information? Who do I ask? Where do I go? What bus do I take? You gotta become a bit more resilient in terms of transport as well, because that's very important. We get so heavily dependent on, hey, this is my morning routine. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna go and grab this train, and I'm going to my workplace. Now, in this new decentralized workplace where you are located maybe much further away than you originally were from work, you're gonna have to learn to get there without your normal trains, without your normal buses. You're gonna have to learn how to maybe drive. You're gonna have to learn how to maybe bike around. You're gonna have to learn how to navigate different transport systems: a bus, a train, an LRT, a ride share, a bike share. These are all things that you gotta learn about and adapt to, and really know, okay, in the case that shit hits the fan, in the case that we're in a pandemic again, or if we're in lockdown again, or if we're in a war, how do we navigate this world? You can't just be like, hey, I don't know how to get from here to there. And again, assume there's no internet. Assume there's no internet, because we're again so heavily reliant on the internet that it's risky. It is risky. So learn how to use a compass. Learn how to read a map. That's gonna be a big one. Get a map book. Keep that handy just in case. Keep your common like transit route maps handy in your house just in case. Because that was the one thing that was key. is throughout this pandemic, I still saw buses running, and that's absolutely amazing. And it's like mad respect to the people that drive the buses around, because they're the ones going through a lot, right? They're going and working these late hours and driving buses. So hats off to them. But they were the ones sustaining the economy, getting people from point A to point B, getting essential workers from point A to point B. Learn, you know, how would you use a bus to get from your house to a hospital? How would you use the bus to get from your place to an airport, to a city, a grocery store, maybe a different grocery store that you're not near, that's maybe a bit more open, or has better food maybe. Just trying to navigate the world without the, the luxury of a car is really, really important. Number four is knowledge. There's a lot of emphasis on focus in the workplace, and I get that. I completely agree with that too. However, in the real world, if you are a person that knows one thing, that's all you're going to be good at. You need to diversify your skill set. And what that means is that you need to become well versed in multiple things, whether you know it roughly as a just like off the top of your head, very, very shallow knowledge, or medium depth knowledge, but not fully deep knowledge, right? And the way that you do that is to expose yourself to new ideas, expose yourself to new topics, expose yourself to, understanding how things work in the world. If you're going and learning engineering, sure, that's a useful thing, but that's not going to help you in learning how to build a fire. That's not going to help you in learning how to build a tent. That's not going to help you in learning how to, fix a motorcycle. And hey, all this routes back. Having this diverse knowledge is useful because now, in the case, again, this is always thinking about the worst case. The worst case is we have a war, internet is shut down, there's no electricity, there's no possibility of transport anywhere. What do? What can you do? Can you light a fire? Can you cook food? Can you hunt? Can you make an electrical bulb? Can you use, whatever you have lying around, whether it's wires, whether it's fabrics, whether it's, can you knit? Can you make blankets for people? Can you cook food? Can you, I don't know, purify water? All these are extra things that people should just know. It's not like you will ever have to use it, but it's always good to know. Because let's say, things break down. You're in your house with maybe 3-4 other roommates. None of you know how to do it because you're all, talented and you do great work as a designer, as a software developer, as an accountant, but you have no hands-on skills. Get that knowledge. That's key. Can you build stuff? Can you cut wood? Can you fix, wounds? Can you do that? Those are all things that you need to learn. Yes, it may not be needed, but just learn it nonetheless. And that's what I mean by knowledge. I don't mean, hey, go and learn a different programming skill. All of that might be useful, but learn real hands-on knowledge. Fix stuff, break stuff, and then fix it. That's the best way to do it. Buy a complicated piece of machinery and fix it. If it's broken, make it work again. And if it's working, disassemble it and then reassemble it. Make sure it's working once you reassemble it. That should be the goal of that activity. But yeah, diversify your knowledge, not just technical knowledge, but practical knowledge. That's what I mean. It's more so practical knowledge, because when things break down, you need people that can do stuff. We've all watched movies, right? What the government looks for at that point is maybe one person that knows analysis, how to do weather analysis for the storm that's coming, or you can have a person that knows how to fly a plane. Yo, that's a good skill to have. That's a good skill to have. Learn how to fly a plane. That'd be pretty sweet because now you can transport people from point A to point B and help them live if things break down. Again, I'm just thinking about the worst case. You gotta plan for the worst case, and everything else will take care of itself. Because everyone's looking for one thing: security. Security is key for everyone, and security and freedom actually play a very a very interesting role in life. So some people seek security, so some people seek freedom, and freedom actually helps people feel more secure. So that's kind of the gist of why I'm going through all this. Last but not least, social. I cannot emphasize the importance of having a diverse social circle. When you have one group of friends, hey, that's great. You're all close, you all love each other, you all spend a lot of time with each other. But when things break apart, or when people move away, or things don't work out, or there's friction in the group, what do you do then? Right? Would you just be alone? Would you have someone else to go back to? Would you have another group or another friend that you can confide in? What happens to the group if things don't work out? And yes, no one wants things to not work out, but it's just like, what if? What if I'm over here and my friends are over here, and I get a job overseas, and I move like tomorrow? What then? Would I be alone over there? No. Like, great, I have communication over like Skype or FaceTime or Zoom. That's great, but is it the same thing as having that bond with them in person? It's not. So the one thing which I would really recommend is, I learned this from watching a video by this guy called Jordan Harbinger. He recommends, like, once in a while, just go on Facebook, scroll all the way down, and just message a friend. Ask them how things are going, ask them what's going on in their life, learn from them what they're up to, where they are, because you never know, they might have moved around as well. They might be going through some things as well, and they might want to speak to you about stuff. They might want to share with you, that, hey man, like, things have been great. I actually moved, and I have a new job, and like, I'm doing well. I live here now. I made a lot of money. It's just like the stories that people tell when you ask them is actually super, super, super cool. And for all you know, they might not have been asked that for so long, that they're just like, what, it's nice of them to like reach out. Reaching out is key. Even like during COVID, like, people have been so isolated that it's just like, I just hope that people have been more in touch with their friends. That's all. Because what happens once things open back up? Are you going to go back to work and be like, yeah, this guy didn't contact me for like months, and they work with us? You still work here? That's what I think is going to get really, really awkward once things open back up. If they do, that's that people are going to like realize that, yo, that's weird, man. Like, we used to work with them every single day, and we used to like chat every day. We used to go for coffee every day, and now it's been a year and a half, and they haven't even messaged me once. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm saying, just like, have multiple friends, have friends across the world, be in touch with people, because you never know where people end up, and the world is a small place, and that's kind of why you have to have that non-judgmental mindset, which is because people would have been one way in the past, they're a different way now. People change, people adapt to their life situations, and they learn and they grow, hopefully grow. So yeah, just like, even if they don't grow, it's perfectly okay. Just learn to accept them as who they are. No one's perfect. We're all going through our own shit. Deal with it. Just be nice, be respectful, enjoy your time with them, enjoy every single moment that you get with them, because you just never know, right? Like, with me, I'll give you a really good story, and it's that there's a couple of friends who I grew up with when I was living out in Asia, in Indonesia. And I was in Singapore in 2000 and 17, just visiting for like vacation. And it just so happened that ended up getting in touch with our family friends who have been there for like super long while we moved here to like North America. And we just like messaged them and they're just like, hey guys, come on over, you know? We went there and we hung out with them like it was, we'd never left. It feels like family, it feels like home, it feels like, you know, you belong there, almost like that. And that's the beauty of friendships and relationships is they should always make you feel like you're home. They should always make you feel like you're okay just the way you are. They should accept you as who you are. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Nothing matters because that night when I was there, they treated us like we were family. They took us out for drinks. We went out and had a blast. Like we went out clubbing and whatnot, and it was super fun. That's what I mean. It's just like just be non-judgmental, be in touch with people, message them on and off here and there. Just say hi, like what's up, you know, like what are you up to, where are you at, how's your family, and where are things going, what are your plans, you know, are you moving, are you traveling anywhere? They just might end up becoming your next travel buddy for all you know. um, so yeah, those are like the 5 points that I wanted to cover in this video for how to live a decentralized life. It's important, very, very important to live a resilient life so that when shit hits the fan, in the case shit hits the fan, and even in general, just like live a resilient life because, you know, when COVID-19 hit, I remember like the week before, I was at the office and we were just like, you know, chatting over coffee and we were discussing how schools were closing, and it almost felt kind of apocalyptic, right? Because they're just like, oh, the schools are closing down and whatnot. And then we're just like, yeah, whatever. It's like no big deal. We'll be back here like next week. And within like 3-4 days, things changed so fast that a lot of people never saw their colleagues again for months. And hey, there will be some people who may not meet their colleagues ever again. You know, that's life. You gotta prepare for the uncertainty. You gotta prepare for the worst case. And I don't think it's the best way to do it because at least we could have prepared, you know, had we known that, okay, we have a week to close down. You know, people should start preparing and like moving their things home and getting ready and settled in. But no, it just happened like that. Oh, over a weekend, literally over a weekend. We're just like, oh my gosh, we're not going back to work. And then everyone's waiting and waiting and waiting, like, when are we going back? When are we going back? But it never happened. It's not happened for the past year, almost a year now. You know, March is fast approaching, like a month away. And here we are. Anyways, I encourage everyone to live a decentralized life. Frankly, I'm working towards my own decentralized life and I'm doing whatever I can to escape the system. I'm doing whatever I can to escape the dependency on others, on other, you know, companies, whatever it is. And once you start thinking decentralized, you start seeing, okay, there's this here, there's this here, there's this here. I can get this from here, I can get this from here, I can get this from here. And whether you use it or not, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You at least know what to do in the case things don't work out. And hey, I wish you the best. I wish that things do work out for everyone. And I wish that we do have a very peaceful, you know, life here in this planet, but you just can't rely on that. We'll see how things pan out for everyone, but of course always hoping for the best, wishing for the best, and I trust that the best is yet to come. So with that, thank you very much for tuning in. Half an hour, a bit too long, too short, I don't know, let me know. You know, leave me a comment, leave me a like if you like it. Again, not a mandation. If you like it, leave me comments, feedbacks, too long, too short. Would you like it to be on an iPad, like written out and stuff? Because I just prefer having this like one-on-one chat with my friends, and you're all my friends. Ha ha ha. Yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next video once I have this burst of ideas and creativity. Peace.